right as
Even
it
if we
is.
can't prove ether, can't disprove
But
it,
then
right? So you can't disprove something in science.
Do you understand, given I've just given you a breakdown of how the empirical method of hypothesis construction can only facilitate one wrong and one right outcome, proving one thing, alternative hypothesis, disproving the other, null hypothesis, that would make you wrong when you say science can't disprove? Do you understand how you were wrong, New Moon?
Yeah, I understood that. Yes, yes.
Excellent. Please paraphrase back what I explained to be hypothesis actualization to my audience. Go ahead.
Right? Like if we have two hypotheses and if we proved one according to you, then we disproved other, right? Yeah, what you talked it about Jaren with Jaren. You have a good knowledge. I'm not saying that you don't know.
Everything that's going on at the moment with everybody, I think it's like a clearing out of the dead wood. All these Witsits and Jerans and everything else. We're clearing the dead wood out now. This is what it's all about. It's just going to be us in the end.
That's how you prevent the fires, man.
We've seen videos of the helium balloon with extra. When they take the pressure out of the vacuum chamber, it pops. Where does the gas go? It fills the chamber. We've all seen that. They've seen that. And look at this guy fighting what he's seen.
Totally ignoring everything Nathan said. Just wants to get to that video. They want their ether.
Well, that's my point.
But where is the video of the gas?
Hang on, Chuck. They could see it all happening, but because ether must live, they got to deny what they saw.
That's correct.
Seems like you think this guy was smart enough to get us to segue away from the video on celestial navigation today? Because it's a shame we're not going to be able to cover it.
You can't divine the guy's motivation. He just wants his ether to be true. He's a cult member. He's the cult being attacked. Now he wants to defend the cult.
Nathan, you got me very nervous, Nathan.
Pardon?
I thought you were gonna have a heart attack.
Because it's infuriating.
He was already wild.
Even if we can't,
right as
even
it
if we
is.
can't prove ether, can't disprove it, right? So you can't disprove something in science.
Oh wow.
That's why dark matter and dark energy exist.
Oh, he's still alive. Look at this. He's still alive.
Okay. Yes, you can disprove things in science. You can only prove your alternative and disprove your null, or prove your null and disprove. There's that asshole interruption. There's that asshole interruption. So I'm disagreeing with you and giving an example of how you're wrong, and you're interrupting the conclusion of it because you're an ether-believing cult member asshole. So let's try that again, asshole. Do you want to say I'm an asshole and I keep interrupting things that disagree with my ether belief? Do you want to say that before we move on with a reasonable discussion where an asshole doesn't interrupt the conclusion that makes him wrong? Your statement, don't need any affirmation from me, I'll do it without, was that you can't disprove things with science. You can only prove your alternative and simultaneously disprove your null, or prove your null simultaneously disproving your alternative. Those are the only outcomes from science. So while you say, no, you can't disprove things, that's all you get from the end result. One thing disproven, A causing B, and one thing proven, A not causing B. One can only be true, and one will be disproven upon experimentation, making you, New Moon, scientifically illiterate and stupid and wrong. So, do you understand, given I've just given you a breakdown of how the empirical method of hypothesis construction can only facilitate one wrong and one right outcome, proving one thing, alternative hypothesis, disproving the other, null hypothesis, that would make you wrong when you say science can't disprove? Do you understand how you were wrong, New Moon?
I told you like these kind of things are still to be proven or disproven, but I don't think so that someone can do that. But still,
I've
like
just
if
explained how you do that with a validation of a hypothesis that only has an outcome where you prove one thing and disprove the other. I just explained it to you. Can you paraphrase back what I explained to you during silence while you were presumably listening? Or was what I explained to you with the only
you lost,
outcome? Is that asshole again?
you
Is
lost
that
that
that's asshole, right?
you
Asshole.
lost that
That's
argument against
asshole,
Jaren
right?
in the past.
Asshole confirmed that you still can't prove things with science after an explanation of exactly how you prove things. Asshole starts interrupting. So, asshole, can you paraphrase back how I explicitly detailed how the outcome of experimentation, that's hypothesis actualization, can only result in something being disproven and something being proven? That's the only outcome in every single experiment ever. Do you understand? Don't just reaffirm your position that I've just overcome. Do you understand? Do you understand? Because if you say yes, I'm going to get you to paraphrase it back. If you say no, I'm going to repeat it differently.
No, but you repeated.
So no, you don't understand how science proves and disproves things. I don't need a waffle after your no. So just to affirm, you don't understand how science proves and disproves. You don't understand that.
With scientific method, are you talking about that?
Do you not understand a simple closed yes or no question? I have just explained hypothesis actualization to you. Do you understand what I explained? Yes or no?
Yeah, I understood that. Yes.
Excellent. Please paraphrase back what I explained to be hypothesis actualization to my audience. Go ahead.
Yeah, when we like make a hypothesis, then at that time we think that we are going to prove something or disprove something, and if we prove this thing, then we are disproving the things that are not proven, right? So it is making that kind of right. Like if we have two hypotheses and if we proved one according to you, then we disproved other, right? That is, I think, the simpler way to tell. But yeah, what you talked it about Jaren in
Sorry, I don't want to
Asala,
move on to
and
Jaren. I want you to understand that when you said it can't disprove things, but you've just summarised my point about how it disproves things, that you now understand how bloody wrong you were. Let's not talk about your cult leader. Let's talk about you, the subservient cult cut, and how he was wrong about what Jaren told him when Jaren said science doesn't prove, and you parroted that incorrect here, and have now paraphrased back exactly how it disproves things. So you understand how wrong you were, New Moon. That's what I need from you. No, don't be a weasel.
no, yeah, it's not a call.
No. Not asking you to affirm how much of a cult Jaren's group and Globebuster's group and Witsit's group is. I asked you to affirm how wrong you now understand to be, based on your statement that science doesn't disprove things, and then paraphrasing back exactly how it disproves things, based on it can only have one or other outcome, one of which is disproving something. You affirmed, paraphrased it back accurately. Now you just need to concede that you were wrong when you said the polar opposite of that, based on the shite you got from Jaren, who's an idiot. So don't focus on Jaren, focus on how you, the cult subservient, were wrong when you said science doesn't disprove. Don't be an asshole and chant through the conclusion about what you now need to do. That would be affirm how wrong you were with your original statement I've challenged. And you paraphrase back how wrong you were, so you just need to affirm, yeah, I was wrong about that when I said science can't disprove.
The big problem with your
I don't want to hear the problem. I want to hear the understanding that you were wrong when you said science doesn't disprove, given that you've just explained, by paraphrasing back what I corrected you with, how it disproves. You need to affirm how wrong you were. Go.
No, you will also longer.
No. You either affirm how wrong you were, because it's blatantly obvious to everybody watching, given that you've paraphrased back exactly how it disproves things. If you will not and refuse to admit that you were wrong, then you are a weasel. And we'll have a good laugh at you, being a weasel, not being able to admit when you're wrong, having no humility, chanting through the end so you don't have to exercise that humility you don't have. we'll just call you a weasel if you can't affirm that when you said it doesn't disprove things and can't, given that you've explained to us with your own tongue how it does, do you admit you were wrong? Unless you're a total weasel. We'll see.
Nathan, you have a good knowledge. I'm not saying that you don't know. You have a good
Yeah, I don't need you to tell me whether or not good knowledge.